Hi, I'm Devon Duerr. I'm an angel intuitive and spiritual teacher here with your November 2022 guidance from the angels. The overall energy is going to be intense starting right now. We've actually already felt a lot of that, but November is really going to bring a lot of that in because we're going to see emotions flying all over the place. And the guidance right away is to make sure we're not allowing our emotions to just fly out of our mouths. The phrase they're showing me is once you do that, your cards have been played. Once it's out there, it's out there. So they're asking us to make sure we're taking time to pause and ground our emotions. And instead of react to things we're hearing or seeing or things others are doing around us, taking time to get grounded, get aligned, get a balance between our body, mind, and spirit so that we can respond instead of react. The first thing they're asking you to make sure you're doing right now is to organize your life. This will help you to gain stability. When all this energy is flying around us, those around us are not grounded or not aligned with their body, mind, and spirit, or saying things that are upsetting and causing the energy to feel very chaotic. I just did my online coffee for October last week, I believe it was, right before I'm recording this. And the topic was, how do you handle chaos? So make sure you go check that out if you haven't. We had some great shares about how people handle chaos. And of course, the first thing is to ask, is this my chaos or someone else's? Now, I say the first thing to do is actually breathe and then ask that. You want to ground yourself first, but remember that because that's kind of the energy we're seeing here, and that we're being asked to separate ourselves from that chaotic energy and from those emotions flying around, limiting our exposure to news headlines, social media, things that are upsetting. Pay attention to the things that are upsetting for you. We want to make sure we're avoiding the illusion of material security. Our security is going to come from within. It's going to come from our spiritual practice. And so we want to make sure we're taking time for that. I know most of you here do have a spiritual practice. It's going to be a good idea to have a lot of those tools ready for you and having extra time for yourself with that, and to make plans to have to respond to some of these emotions flying around and be ready for that. Have several backup plans in place. But really, that main thing that they want us to know right away is getting organized is going to help you feel stability. Getting organized in your home, getting organized with your plans and your backup plans. Getting organized with things you see coming down the road in the future, because we are being guided to go ahead and make some new plans, but so that we can be ready to act, but we're not quite ready to act yet. So this is an opportunity right now to start planning. And it's naturally a time where a lot of us start planning towards the end of the year. I'm going to be having my 2023 angel messages up very soon as well, so keep an eye out for that. Before we dive in too much more to the guidance for November 2022, I did want to remind you that my free 5-day journaling challenge teaching you how to deepen your connection with the angels is still available if you haven't signed up for it yet. It's free. You get a free downloadable PDF that guides you through the process. You get an angel message every day in your inbox that will help you learn to identify your intuitive abilities and how you're using them through this journaling process. So make sure you get that on my website, devonduerr.com. Also coming very soon is a special holiday bundle. I released my custom journal, Book of Evidence, Proof Your Angels Are With You, last March. It is just my pride and joy to offer this to you as a way for you to deepen your connection with the angels. It's custom with templates and guides you through. It has an introduction on how to use it. And I'm going to be offering some other tools with it coming up very soon in a holiday bundle. The holidays are a very fun time for me. I really enjoy it. And so this was my way of giving back to you. I'm so grateful you're always here. Don't forget that I have my free monthly event, Online Coffee with Devon. We just had one last week and it was wonderful. The topic was, how do you handle chaos? So since we started off these angel messages talking about emotions flying everywhere, that's one thing that you could go back and listen to. Also, the online coffee from September, where the prompt was, how do you handle releasing anger? So really good stuff in there if you want to go back and listen. Also, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this side of what I do, but I also work with Serious Joy, a wonderful network subscription that has all kinds of guidance and astrology messages and daily pep talks, and I do a weekly show called Angels Aligning. The Serious Joy Step System is something that can lead you into understanding astrology, whether you have a very deep knowledge or you're new to it. There's so many wonderful, valuable tools here, and I'm honored to be able to offer a weekly show called Angels Aligning, where I share guidance from the angels that align with the Serious Joy Steps. So you might want to check that out. I also host another show called Soul Support Group once or twice a month with my co-hosts. There's a lovely team of amazing people where we share a lot of content. So if you want to dive a little deeper and you're looking to deepen your spiritual practice, Serious Joy is a wonderful way to do that. There's a daily pep talk, there's a daily tune-in. Like I said, the weekly show, Soul Support Group, and the weekly show I offer with angel messages every week is there available for you. You can try it out for the first month for only $3.99. So go check that out at seriousjoy.com. If these messages resonate with you, I really appreciate you liking and sharing and subscribing to my channel. It really helps my channel grow. And that being said, let's jump right into the rest of the angel messages from November 2022. I didn't say this up front, but I want to make sure you know that the way I work with the angels is I always ask for these messages to reach you when it's in your highest interest. I say a prayer of protection, asking that I only connect with God's highest vibrational beings and the messages be for the highest good of those who come across it. So whether you listen to these messages in November or at a later date, if something resonates with you, write it down. The angels will not tell you what to do. They never want us to give our power away. So because this is a group message, if something doesn't resonate with you, just leave it behind. It's probably for someone else. But you hear me say this all the time. Write it down because it gives you hindsight. And I often encourage you to go back and listen to prior angel messages and see what sticks out for you there and use hindsight for what was going on for you at the time, or there may even be messages for you there. The angels can see so far and wide. They know when you're going to see these messages. So again, I just encourage you to write down anything that resonates, but just leave behind whatever doesn't, because that is the nature of this bigger reading like this. So going into kind of what we're seeing as a known challenge for November, they want us to know that we're going to find it hard to do a lot of the inner work, to go within and listen to our inner voice because of these outer world emotions. They keep showing me that idea of once you have that emotional outburst, your cards are played, people know where you're coming from. That's the ground to people. Whereas if you go within and you get steady and you take a certain approach to it that you've thought through and gotten grounded, you're going to be a lot more protected with that. But know that it will be harder than normal to listen to your inner voice. So making sure that you're not allowing the disorganization of your outer world to really disrupt your inner world. That's why we were asked right away at the beginning of this video to go ahead and take time to organize your life. I do like to think of these three categories and keeping a balance. So keep these three categories in mind as you continue to listen. This would be your health and fitness, your finances or your career, or even how you're handling those things in retirement. And then, of course, your romance and your relationships, not just romantic ones, but other relationships in your life. Keep those three categories in mind as you're listening, because that's what we're being asked to organize. And I find that when one of those areas is really out of balance, it does tend to trickle over into the other areas of your life, no matter how hard we try. So that's why they're asking us to get balanced with that right away. The other thing they wanted to make sure we're aware of is that, boredom can attract financial. I'm trying to combine financial and emotional risk together for some reason. Maybe that's a new word. Boredom attracts financial and emotional risks. So that's what we want to make sure we're not doing. When we get bored, it makes it easy for us to be persuaded into something that's not in our highest interest. So especially in this month of November, where most of it is ruled by Scorpio, which is about desires and, going deep, we want to be going deep into our inner self and connecting with our spiritual side and not allowing ourselves to be persuaded by outer things, addictions, things that we do to distract ourselves. We want to be going within. So use self-motivation and communicate with yourself and with others what it is that you're really wanting. Think about those things. What is it that you can bring into your life? Because this is really going to bring healing. So if you catch yourself wanting to sit on the couch and binge watch a show, first check in. I mean, maybe it is time to take a break. Maybe you've been working too hard, but also make sure you're not using that as a distraction from doing the inner work. Because again, this is where boredom can cause us to do things where we take risks. This is what happens when people get caught up in gambling, or they get caught up in maybe one night stands because they're taking these risks out of boredom. Now, one of the ways you can counteract that boredom is not only by keeping your spiritual practice in place on a daily basis, but also look to where you want to learn. I want to encourage you, if you have time, to listen to my 2022 angel messages. I also had an update in there, but last December, I released my 2022 angel messages. And the big message for this year was to be ready to learn, and learning something your heart is drawn to. So take time to pay attention to what that is, and use this energy right now to go within and focus on something you really want to study, and avoid that feeling of boredom and not being challenged enough. Because what's really going on subconsciously for us is that we haven't fully tapped into a lot of our spiritual gifts. And this is really exciting. We have a lot more spiritual wisdom and magic available to us that we really haven't tapped into yet. Maybe we're not aware of. Maybe we're aware of on some level, but we haven't owned it yet. And what the angels are telling me is they want you to know that what you enjoy teaching is going to lead you to understanding this wisdom and magic that you have to share with others. So have conversations with others and notice where you get almost a recharge, those topics that you could feel like you could talk about all day long. We don't want to do that. We don't want to burn out. But what are those things that it's almost like a self-charging battery because you enjoy talking about it, you enjoy teaching about it. There's something behind that. So we're going to be looking for those hidden truths, that hidden knowledge that can come to the surface level during this season and help us tap into more of our spiritual gifts and more of that magic that's available to us right now, because we start with the magic in the little things. So notice where you feel like you almost want to take on a warrior energy with something because you're so passionate about it, but then use it as a gift to share with yourself, share with others, and do it in an angelic way. How would the angels do it? They would do it subtly. They would do it softly. They're making sure, they're asking us to make sure that we're being open to listening to other people's views, because that warrior energy in us wants to get that out and share this information. We don't want to push away people or conversations that might really benefit us by being overzealous, so to speak. So that's what they're showing me is subconsciously we know we have these talents and gifts, but we haven't really tapped into them yet. And they want to commend us because recently we have had to use a lot of mental force to get focused. We've had to recognize the broader scope of things, and we've had to use focused ambition. So look at where you've done that for yourself, because they want to give you a pat on the back for that, and know that this extended effort that you've given towards your focal point, the things that you've been really focusing on in your life, they're going to continue to help you, and they are necessary to succeed. So while it's been tough to do that, know that you're on the right path with that, because it is so necessary. Now, as you hear these messages and throughout the month of November, they're reiterating the concept of intellectual richness, really deepening your knowledge on those things. So just like they were saying in the subconscious and unknown section of these spiritual gifts, how can you bring more knowledge in a rich way into your day-to-day life? And they want us to know that, yes, a lot of our responsibilities are weighing heavy on us. They see that, but we want to make sure we're not allowing stress to affect us physically. So make some space this month to retreat and go within and take breaks from the stress so that we're not feeling too much in our physical body or too much in our mental body that's affecting our health. And make sure that if we don't feel like we have enough information on something, that means it's not time to take an action. It may be that you need that deeper intellectual richness before you can take action on something. And so look at temporary standstills as a gift. It really isn't a great time to make a lot of commitments right now with this energy because we need to be able to get emotionally neutral. And like I said, we're going to have all these emotions flying everywhere. And so really we're going to be focused on doing that and doing things that are life affirming, doing things that are healthy for ourselves so that we can get to that place before we're making any decisions. Because again, as I said earlier, we want to make sure we're not taking emotional risks or financial risks from a place of being unbalanced. So trust that this can change. And in fact, it's probably going to change pretty quickly coming up, but it's going to take this order in your life for you to be able to know what the decision is that's in your highest interest. In fact, the phrase they're showing me is political order is required. So make sure you're taking political authority with yourself, with your life. And trust that any time delays with relationships, projects, trips, those are ultimately beneficial because we're needing to get more information. So be careful not to stay too much inside your protective walls and box yourself out completely from the world, because we can get help from others. They're showing me those of you who are feeling a sense of needing to talk to balance your emotions, ask for help, seek professional help with those things. This is not a time to try to weather these things on your own. If you're feeling things that you don't know what to do with, or you're feeling things that you're having a hard time releasing, ask for help from loved ones, seek professional help, because we're not meant to do this alone. This is why we have each other. And there is a risk of us getting into a place where we just want to box ourselves in and not share what's going on because of so much flying around there. And that's not helpful either. So we need to find a balance between being able to share how we feel, but also not just let our emotions fly off the handle, right? So if you know anyone in your life that's struggling with those kinds of things, reach out to them and let them know you're there to help. We can't always control what their reactions are going to be, but it's always okay to let someone know you love them and just check in on them and let them know, that you're there if they need anything. So keep that in mind as we're moving forward throughout this month, because a lot of the energy that's coming up, it's going to feel like the world starts moving really quickly. And so it's going to be really important to bring ritual and ceremony into your daily life. For those of you who have ceremonies or rituals that you do with the moons or you just do on a daily basis, this is going to be really helpful. Also look for other ways you might want to bring that in over the next couple of months, because as the energy begins to pick up and really speed up, we want to be ready. So we want to be able to have those plans in place. We want to feel organized. We want to have our rituals that are helping us so that we don't wait too long to act. And the caution here is that many of us have been waiting around to act, and that it's almost to the point of us waiting for things to be perfect. And we need to be willing to just put ourselves out there in a way that isn't necessarily perfect. We're human, we're working on things. So if you're looking at starting your own side spiritual business where you're helping others, doing it in a way where you can do it and still keep a job that helps you maintain your daily routines until you're ready to go out on your own, but don't wait around for everything to be perfect before you do it. You've got to get the energy going. You've got to show the universe this is what you want to do and that you're committed. So be deliberate in your planning and be a strategist about this. Again, that bringing ritual into our daily life is going to help with that. But this is that reminder that, if you want to be a teacher, teach. If you want to be a healer, go do some healing. Don't focus on it being perfect and having the perfect website and having the perfect, all this, things people focus on at the beginning with the branding and the logos and all that. Yes, that's important and can come into play, but you have plenty of time for that. You really do. First, you got to have the action of doing it so that the universe knows this is what you want. And you can ask the angels for help and attracting help with those things and attracting the right opportunities. Now, know that we have to tap into our personal power when we're doing this. And that was that thing at the beginning where they were saying we aren't even aware of how much wisdom we have available to us. We have a lot more wisdom available to us than we really give ourselves credit for. And so they want us to know that we're going to get a lot of power as knowing that when the odds seem against us, that's when we're at our best. Okay, that's when the underdog really gets that surge of energy. So notice how you can tap into that energy of the underdog who's being witty and cunning with their remarks and knowing how to plan and have backup plans. And then you will gain a lot of growth and insight from looking at it from that perspective, from learning to use your power and making sure you're balancing your emotions and really trusting your intuition, tapping into your intuition there. So think about it from that standpoint. Just when you think that there's no chance you're ever going to attract that first client, or there's no chance that you're ever going to be able to go out on your own, that's when you're at your best. Get smart, plan, be strategic in how you do this so that you're protected as you're moving through this energy. The next thing they wanted to make sure we know is that because of these emotions flying around, it is going to be affecting the people around us. They've already said that before. So it's going to be important we're purifying our energy. We're purifying our home. We're bringing that into our daily routine. If it's not up now, it will be up soon. I do have some offerings that teach about energetic cord cutting and energetic shielding. I also have something that is going to be available to help you with automatic writing, which can be very helpful too with tapping into your intuition. And so keep an eye out for those things. I'll probably have an email coming out when they're available. So just make sure you're signed up for my free newsletter at devonduerr.com. But purifying your energy and clearing the energy in your home is going to be really important. And I'm always teaching that that's something that I encourage you to do at least once a day. And we're going to see that others around us are overly stressed or maybe even facing depression. Again, like I said, if you know there are people around you that are going through a hard time, let's make sure they know we're here. Let's check in on them. But we want to make sure we're clearing our energy and sharing and shielding ourselves. We don't want to take on this depression. We don't want to take on the stress from others. So carefully review your situations and make sure your energy is clear. And again, when you are checking in on these loved ones, you're there for them in a way where your cup is full and you're sharing that love versus an energy where you're taking that on. The angels know that we are wanting to really finally see some success with our desires and our dreams. We're wanting to see prosperity in our lives. And so what they're asking us to do is change our perspective to change our world. Look at things from a different place and notice where you already have success in your life. Notice where you've already been prosperous. We are coming to the end of this difficult situation. It is going to get better, but it does mean focusing on the sun rising every day and shining light on new beginnings, because we are blessed with the gift of support during all this adversity. So make sure that you're tapping into that spiritual connection and focusing on where we're going, on things getting better, and really stick by those you love and the things you love through these difficult times. That's going to be what brings us power, focusing on the now. What do we have available to us now? Where are we successful in our lives right now is going to attract more of that and help us get through a lot of this. So make sure we're not tapping into too much fear with that or allowing our mind to run away with the things that are wrong. What we want to do is we want to be obedient to our heart and what our heart is wanting. And our heart doesn't want us to be in a place of despair. Our heart doesn't want us to be in a place of depression or pointing out all the negative things. It's wanting us to focus on what we do have, the love we do have available to us, because you have gained a lot of experience from your past. So we're being asked to recognize that. Analyze the way that you have learned things from the past and bring that into your goals and trust that this will help you uncover the answers. I know a lot of us have a lot of questions about where things are going. What does the big picture really look like ultimately? And we're being asked to stop trying to guess about that and trust it will be unveiled to us in the right time, in divine timing. This is that old phrase again, to just put one foot in front of the other. Don't panic, don't rush into things. Avoid those risks that are unnecessary and just get organized, because following with the heart finds meaning in is going to be where we get that power, where we build that trust and where we're going. So use faith, use discipline, and remain obedient to what your heart is really wanting. And we do have to apply sense and discipline to each step. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. And I've said that in past messages as well. A lot of times the supposedly overnight successes that we see in the world don't really last. We are looking for a lasting love of life, lasting magic in our daily lives, in our experiences, and we are bringing that in. But go ahead and see where you already have that right now. They did offer a keyword for the whole month. That's one thing that I'll do in a lot of my messages. Maybe you've seen it on my Instagram or TikTok account where I have a keyword, and they're showing me shielding. So again, I do have a video on my website that teaches about cord cutting and shielding, protecting your energy. You may already be aware of what works for you on this, but really bring that into your daily ritual. We want to be shielding ourselves from these energies, and that may mean turning off the TV sooner than we usually do, not allowing people to call us up and spend 30 minutes saying all the things that they're worried about, when maybe we just need to be there for them for a little while and then say, hey, I really got to go. Can we pick up this conversation later? Sending you love. Hope you feel better. Because we can't always just take on all this energy and expect our energy to be maintained. So make sure you remember that key word of shielding. And then I'd like to wrap up this video with 3 intentions for the month of November. I do that with a lot of the things I do because I don't want you to feel like you have to wait around to activate this guidance. You can start right now activating this guidance and getting in alignment with it. And so the first thing they wanted us to keep in mind with our first intention is to know that this is a leap of faith. We are being asked to take a leap of faith through this energy, that things will get better, that it's going to be more magical than we can even imagine. In fact, our mind can't even visualize how much better it's going to be when we get on the other end of all this energy. So we have to just trust, because we can't see it. We don't know what it's going to be like, but it's going to be better than we imagined, is what the angels are saying. So honor that this is a leap of faith. The next thing they want us to use as a tool and an intention is to really notice the synchronicities around us. So use that art of synchronicity and see how things show up for you in divine timing. So if you're one that follows numbers, repetitive numbers, that could be a way. But also, when you ask for help with something, notice the way the help appears for you. So we are able to go and ask the angels for help. We just don't want to get attached to what that help is going to look like. So trust the synchronicity of things, trust that things are happening in divine timing. And then finally, really understand your inner power. That's the final intention. Trust in co-creation with God universe. That's really going to help us tapping into that inner power there. So again, the 3 intentions one more time is knowing it's a leap of faith. 2, synchronicity, trust in divine timing, and 3, inner power. This is a co-creation with God universe. It is always my honor to share these angel messages with you. So if these messages resonated with you, I'd love to hear it in the comments. And again, it's a big help if you would like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you're signed up for my free newsletter. I do have a newsletter only angel message that will go out. And also that's how I let you know when new videos are up, new offerings. That's how you get the Zoom link to join me for online coffee, which is a really amazing roundtable discussion the second Wednesday of every month. It's free. It's your tribe. If you're here, we're your tribe. And we talk about angels. We discuss intuitive abilities. People will share intuitive experiences and we support each other. So that's what we need right now. We need to come together in community and support each other as we're moving through this energy, because it is ultimately leading us to a place that we can't even imagine. So trust in that. And I just thank you so much. It's my honor to share these messages with you. Keep an eye out for my 2023 angel messages that are coming up. It's going to be a broad overlook for the year to help us start planning. That will be up pretty soon. And I'm really excited to share that with you. I'm always honored to connect with you too. So please reach out with any questions and comments, and I'll see you next time. Remember, take time to connect with the angels every day. Bye.